Good morning, I'm Clive Cornelius, broadcasting to you from the GBTA conference here in Brussels. Joining me today is Malte, the CEO from Pliant. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So Pliant is a new digital B2B card provider. Where have you seen the need for innovation?
I think it's mainly around the management of the cards. So especially in Europe, people are still super annoyed by the process of ordering cards from, for example, the banks or other providers, because it takes a couple of weeks until it comes. And the second part is usually once you have the card, you want to, of course, make transactions, but there's a whole universe after the transaction when it comes to accounting tools and things like that, like collecting receipts and all of these things. And there's a lot of digital advantages you can have by just pushing a button instead of writing a letter to get a card, or to having a mobile app to take receipt pictures. And even though here the industry of travel is quite advanced when it comes to cards, there's still a lot of need for additional features that are just more digital. And the other part is actually that the regulation is shifting quite a lot, and that impacts a lot of the processes, like email cards, for example, are no longer allowed or only partially. So that can be actually helped with technology a lot.
Fantastic. And you've positioned Pliant with the Visa corporate card not only for business travel, but you're also looking at procurement as well. Can you give us some examples on how your clients are using the card?
Yeah, so one big example is now from the past, actually during Corona. The first thing you need is a Zoom account, of course. And the question is like, who has the card? It's usually just the managing director, and at that point in time he was at the home office. Then you need a ton of verification code that was on his phone, not on the person who was actually using the card. And later on, you might not even know who did actually the transaction, who has the receipt for accounting. So these are kind of the challenges, and this is one of the parts though where cards are used more and more. Software, cloud, online marketing, because those are the ones I would say the card is like the payment method for the digitalization, but it needs to be digitalized as well. So it's coming more and more, and we see other use cases in hardware, or especially international payments, where simply the reach of the card is of advantage, the ease of accessing other currencies, and so that's more and more coming, and we are happy to see what's next.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Malte, for joining me. It's a really good pleasure to meet you. Thank you for joining me at the broadcast studio from the conference here in Brussels. I'm Clive Cornelius. Thank you for tuning in.